Welcome back to 1011 News at noon. For 1 week in February, CHI Health St. Elizabeth shines a light on burn safety. As the only burn unit in the state, St. Elizabeth wants to equip you and your family with important safety reminders, and it all starts with where we all live. So here today is burn and trauma coordinator Eric Jensen. Eric, thank you so much for being here.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Yes, what can you tell us about burn injuries and why is education so important?
Sure, prevention is key with most injuries and especially in the burn world, so we just want to make sure that everybody's staying safe in their home.
Absolutely, and so you're speaking of our homes. That's where we need to, up our safety, make sure everything is good, especially if we have young kids like I do.
Yeah.
So what are some things that parents can do at their home?
Oh, there's a ton of things we can do in a home. I mean, we always want to have our kids around helping us out in the kitchen and doing things, but it's really important that we keep safety first in the kitchen. Stoves, boiling water, those things can happen so quick, and kids are always so active that it doesn't take long for them to get in trouble.
Yes, and kids are fast.
They are.
You try to watch them like a hawk, but they can just go.
Absolutely.
And in the burn unit at St. Elizabeth specifically, what are some of the most common injuries that you've seen?
Sure, for our pediatric clientele is scald injuries for those kids, just trying to help cook, carrying coffee, maybe getting ready in the morning, curling irons, flat irons, those types of things. There'll be things that'll get them caught. Wintertime, fireplaces, sometimes we'll see some of those, not as many as we used to, but still see some of those injuries for sure.
Yeah, you speak about like hairstyling tools. I always worry about my young children grabbing the cord of mine, pulling it down off the counter. You think you have it up on the counter out of reach, but the cords can definitely put it in their reach.
For sure, it gets knocked off and then they step on it. Those things happen so fast.
Yeah. Are there items we can have in our house to, address those burn injuries as quickly as possible, or when should folks really head to the hospital?
Sure, that's always a good question. What do you do for first aid for a burn injury?
Yeah.
Cool water, tepid water is appropriate for these small injuries where they're less than the size of the palm of the hand. They get bigger than that. We want to be mindful that it can drop our temperatures. But those small injuries, water's fine. Never want to put ice on an injury. That can actually make it worse. We try to avoid ice.
Okay.
But your cool water is appropriate. Pain's the biggest problem right away because they're just so painful. If we can't get the pain under control, maybe getting in, be seen with your primary care, ED, or even with a burn clinic is certainly appropriate.
Okay, so that's when you know that pain threshold when it gets to be too much to come in.
For sure.
Okay.
That's probably the biggest.
Is there anywhere folks can go for more information on burn safety, prevention, anything like that you would recommend? Sure.
The American Burn Association has a nice website. They've got a bunch of tip sheets for parents that they can use, either summer related, kitchen related, all things burn safety. They've got a lot of good information on the American Burn Association website.
Well, wonderful. Eric, thank you so much for coming by with all that great information.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, we'll be right back with a final check of Brad's forecast.